What's up, everyone? Thank you for listening to another episode of the Sawyer Brothers Show. Please be sure to follow and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, and then follow our podcast accounts and SDI accounts on all socials. We post daily on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. If you enjoy the show, we'd really appreciate you leaving a review and sharing it with other potential listeners. Lastly, if you have a recommendation for topics or guests, feel free to reach out to us. We greatly appreciate your support. On today's episode, I speak with Cam Carver. Cam is a college hockey player at Western Connecticut State, an NCAA Division III program. I coached Cam on the Trenton 2004 team when he was a Bantam from 2017 to 2019. Him and his brothers have been staples in our SDI programs since then as well. Following Trenton youth hockey, he spent his midget years playing AAA for Victory Honda and Belle Tire. He then played for Mercer in the NCDC before beginning his college career. Cam is one of my all-time favorites. He combines his skill, work ethic, and positive attitude to find success in all aspects of his life. He's a natural leader and someone you always want on your team. I was 21 when I first coached him with the 04s, and now they're 21 themselves, so it's pretty crazy to think about the time. It's been awesome to watch him grow up over all these years, and I'm proud of who he is. I hope you enjoy the episode. Cam, what's up?
Nothing much. Just hockey and everything. How you doing?
Good. You had practice today and class and everything. What's your Tuesday look like?
Tuesdays we practice 8 a.m. So we show up to the rink at about 6:45, do a little warm up, do some video, and then on Tuesdays I have one lab class, so it's a 3-hour class. So I'll go there at 2, kind of 2 to 5, and that's my day. Do some homework and yeah.
Well, awesome. You're in your freshman year of college. I guess you're like a couple months in now of living there, and a 3 weeks in from your season, I believe it was. I think your first week game was Halloween weekend.
Yes, correct.
Cool. So give us a breakdown of just an overview where you're from, where you played growing up, where you are now.
Yeah, so I'm from Flat Rock, Michigan. I grew up playing for the Blades that you coached for a couple years. From there on, I moved on to 15U Victory Honda and then 16U Victory Honda. Then I played both 18U years at Belle Tire 18U. Then I proceeded to play at Mercer Chiefs NCDC for 2 years, and I am now here at Western Connecticut State College or University and playing here.
Where is the university?
We're in Danbury, Connecticut.
Okay, nice. Well, awesome. This is one that I've been waiting to do. I wanted to wait till you played your first college game a few weeks ago, so I was waiting for that. I think on the initial list I sent out of guys, like you were on that list, and I was like, I want to touch base this fall once you've settled in and everything. So I'm excited for this one. I know we were just talking before we were recording here. I mean, a lot of this, like, I feel like I've known you for a very long time. I already know so much of this, so it'll be good to kind of catch up and go through some updates on you. So to get started, let me ask you this. So you already mentioned in that opener, obviously I coached you with the 04 Trenton Blades. That was, your Bantam years. And I know you had played on the Blades for years leading up to that. When you think back to those years and that team, what do you think about with those experiences?
Yeah, those were some of the most fun years of hockey, I would say. I think the team we had was just unbelievable. The compete everyone had every day, like the battles in practice was just so much fun, and everyone just wanted to win. Everyone was a family. Everyone liked everyone. It was just an unreal experience with that team.
The compete you mentioned, I mean, that's exactly the main thing I think about all the time. Like the amount of fights that happened in practice, like just from straight up playing games at the end of practice and whatever, the way that you guys carried that over into the games against, in real games, that all started from our practices. Like, I mean, it was like almost every day. It was like every Monday, I feel like, 2 or 3 guys at the small area game at the end of practice would turn into some form of an argument. We'd do the breakdown, and a couple guys would go to the locker room all upset with each other, and I just have to kind of make sure that they weren't going to actually fight, and then they'd leave, and then Wednesday they'd come back and they'd be totally fine. So I think that was a big thing with that team.
I think that was a huge part of that team is everyone everyone just wanted to win on that team, and even if there were fights on the ice, everyone knew. I think you really showed us that it was you can fight and battle on the ice all you want, but you guys are best friends off the ice no matter what. So,
Exactly.
and I think that's what that team everyone knew, everyone did, and it was awesome.
I feel the exact same way. No, those are two of the best. Those are two of the best years I've had coaching. Specifically, that second year. The Bano Double A team was awesome. You guys did a lot of. You guys grew a ton, obviously, just naturally going from seventh and eighth grade into eighth and ninth grade, and then the Bantam Double A level of hockey. If you're playing Iserman hockey, it's my favorite. Like it's legit. It's guys that are right before high school, whether they're going on to play varsity or AAA. I mean, that year after that Bantam AA, I think we had 6 guys or 7 guys go on and play AAA, and everyone else was playing varsity, or some of the Trenton guys were playing on the JV team because there's so many players there. So that was a special group. There's so many games that stick out with me and memories with that. But one thing I wanted to kind of pump your tires on was the first year Bantam A, you and Witt were voted captains. So you guys had the C's, and deservingly so. Like, we had so many good players and such good leadership, but you guys carried that team wherever you guys went. That team followed. And I remember at the end of that season in the summer, we had talked about captains again, and you guys were like, we don't need them. We don't need letters on our jerseys. We're going to be okay. We're all one unit. We're all one family. So, do you remember that time? Did you and Gavin talk about that, or like, what was that?
I do a little bit, yeah. I don't think it was talked or planned really, but I do think we just had a feeling of we're one team. We want everyone like
Yeah.
to feel included. We had many leaders on that team. It wasn't just us two. It was the whole team. Like I said, everyone got along. Everyone wanted to win for each other. So
Yeah.
we didn't talk about it, but I definitely think it was mutually agreed on when we came to you.
I think that's the best part, is that you just knew. You didn't need to talk about it. You felt it. You knew that you guys were the leaders, and you knew that team was all one family, like you already mentioned. So that just shows kind of the selflessness, and that you guys didn't need any of the extra attention or extra credit, and you're just ready to go and help the team however was needed. Um, at the end of that year, like I said, everyone kind of goes on and does their own thing, and between high school and AAA programs and whatnot, you go to Victory Honda that following year, and you're now playing on a team with a bunch of players that you had competed against the previous season on those various teams playing Bantam AA, Iserman level. What were those experiences with kind of going from that double A level to the triple A level, and then playing with a lot of new players?
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We kind of call ourselves the Double A All Star Team. We had a lot of kids from the USA Eagles, which I think were number one in the nation at that time. We had,
Mm-hmm.
I think, 3 of us from Trenton. Um, that was a awesome experience because there were so many memories of playing those other guys. Everyone was like, "Oh, do you know this guy? Do you know this guy?" And everyone knew everyone. So I think we became very close really quickly that year. Just everyone's played each other for years, and it was almost like even if you hated the guy on the other team when he was there, you didn't really hate him anymore. It was a lot of fun to just kind of be on his side, compete, and yeah. But going from Double A to Triple A was definitely a learning experience. That 15U season, especially before some guys go to juniors and whatnot, it was definitely a change. It's a lot faster, more physical, and just it was just really good hockey. So had to
Mm-hmm.
had to learn quickly about that.
And do you pride yourself on the physical side? Because I feel like you've always, you were kind of one that was maybe in puberty with the strength, at a normal rate. Like, you weren't the guy that was late to the game with all of it. You kind of had some of your strength early, and maybe that helped some of the physical side. But I feel like every time I've watched you play, you've had some physicality in your game. Is that something that you think about, or is that just kind of come naturally?
Yeah, that's definitely something I kind of pride myself on. I think on the blades, I was kind of on the bigger side of
Mm-hmm.
guys, and over the years until now, I've just ended up being on the smaller side, and I had to figure out how to play that way, that change, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Coach Reboza told me you got to hit the guy before they hit you, and that's one thing. Reverse hits, like I've kept that every day since, and I think being physical is one of the biggest parts of the game. And
For sure.
if you let people skate around, they're gonna do what they want. But if you're physical, a lot of teams shut down. So I think physicality is something I pride myself on.
Oh, 100%. You want to shut down a star player who's always got the puck. You just bump them a couple of times earlier, and normally they change into who they are. They
Hmm.
take themselves right out of it. So you already mentioned kind of like your pride in the physicality, the physical side of the game. How else would you describe your game as a whole? I know you just told me right before this that you transitioned from defense to forward. So let's answer this question assuming you didn't just go through that transition of position change. Just answer it like overall as a hockey player. How would you describe your game?
Yeah. So describing my game, a couple of things I prided myself on was being physical. I like consistency. So that was one thing I really liked in myself, and I wanted to show coaches was you you know every time that you put me on the ice what you're gonna get. Like if you need the puck out or a late time in the zone or in the period, like it's gonna get out. Like consistency was huge for me, and that's one thing I really look at. And honestly, simpleness. I think
Mm,
keeping the game simple is super important. You don't need to do ton of fancy moves. Get your feet moving up the ice, head up, make a play, or something simple as high and out of the zone. And yeah,
sure.
keeping it simple, consistency, and physicality.
So when you talk about being consistent, and those are, I mean, those are three huge things. I think if you can be consistent in hockey or really anywhere in life, you're going to find success. If you can repeat those same things that you do on a daily basis, you'll be successful in the long run. What are you thinking about before your practices and your games to stay consistent? Because in the midst of all of that, life happens and you have a bad day or you're tired or you're not feeling good. Are you purposely trying to be like, okay, I gotta like stay fresh and do this, or is just kind of you've done it long enough, it's just habit?
So I'm big on video as well. I think I enjoy watching video, watching game clips, even practice clips sometimes, kind of just scenarios. And
Mm-hmm.
I like to think about those before every practice. Like recently, it was puck battles in front of the net, and instead of going over and under, tying their stick up, go under so they can't control it, the play and whatnot. So I would think about that before every practice, every drill, work on that, and just focus on those little things like that before every practice.
Yeah. So it's just kind of refreshing yourself on those habits that you need to play with on a daily basis, watching video and reminding yourself and just going out there trying to execute the same thing over and over again.
Yep, exactly.
Do you have an NHL player or players that you've looked at and you like certain things of their games? This is a totally tough question. It's so hard, but do you have anyone that comes to mind at all?
Yeah, when I transitioned to forward, I was like, my main thing was like I want to be someone who is the worst person to play against, like
Mm-hmm.
someone who you just absolutely hate. So I kind of was like, oh, like the Kachuk brothers, like that's like you don't want to play against them. Like
100%.
it's miserable, and that's kind of my thing. Is I wanted to get in there. I wanted to be physical. I wanted to make sure you knew you were gonna get hit if you had the puck, and yeah, that's kind of who I modeled that game after.
That makes total sense, and it's such a surprise to watch you play sometimes because you're such a nice guy off the ice, and you are just on the ice sometimes, just like not a nice person. You just play so hard, which is great for someone that's on your team and that's on the same side as you. But if you're going against you, like I mean, you'll even chirp a little bit sometimes too. You're just I think your competitiveness takes over, which is exactly what you want, which is why I always loved coaching you and being around you. But you're just so into it that being hard to play against is definitely something that I would say that you are. I know I'm sure it's a transition like right now with a new level of hockey like to college and whatnot, but if you haven't quite found that yet, I'm sure you'll adjust to it again because you've done it at every level. So that's definitely something. Hopefully you're not injured throughout the whole year this year like the Kachuk brothers are, but that's
Yeah.
those are good players to model after. So before we get into like kind of like, current stuff and then some of those later years of your career, I want to go back on like your roots. So, how did you first get into hockey?
Yeah, so I was around the age of 4. I had a lot of family from Trenton, so all of them played hockey. My grandpa played hockey. My uncle played hockey. So it's kind of just like my parents were like, "Do you want to try hockey?" And I was like, "Yeah." All my friends do it. Like, yeah, I want to try it. And yeah, I got some gear and started.
Your dad did not play it though, right? Did your mom grow up around hockey?
Uh, yeah, my dad did not play. My mother, both my mother's brothers played.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, they played, and my grandpa on that side played.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought I remember that your mom's side did, but I didn't know for sure. So you're the oldest of four. I know obviously you have the two younger brothers and a sister. When you go to first start playing, are they just sitting there watching you play, like, and they just want to play too, or like how did that start? Like you're like kind of the pioneer of the Carver siblings in a way.
Yeah, I I think they just kind of saw it and fell in love. I think I was 4, and Evan started skating at 18 months or something.
Yeah.
He got on the ice at 18 months, and that's pretty young. And that's when he started skating. So I think it just kind of became what we wanted to do. And then Griffin eventually saw it and was like, "Yeah, I want to do that." And kind of moved on. We even got my sister to try hockey for a little bit.
Yep.
Convinced her. Didn't last long, but we tried.
Yeah, for sure. Well, she's at the rink all the time. She spent a ton of time there, so she probably understands the game better than other players do, anyways, even without playing too long.
Yeah, there's a good chance she might understand the game better than me at this point. She's watched enough hockey. I think she might.
All right, so let's just get right into the defense to forward transition because, like you said, you texted me about it. We were talking about it real quick. What has that been like? Like, you said you've never played forward in your life, um, and now you're playing forward at a new level of hockey at the collegiate level. So what is that transition like?
Yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. I do enjoy forward a lot. It was kind of happened in the middle of a game one time. We lost the center, and my coach was like, "Come play forward," and I was like,
Because of an injury?
"Yeah," and I was just kind of like, "Okay, yeah, absolutely," and kind of just they have me at center, and it's a couple changes definitely. I find myself sometimes thinking like, when can I change as a forward? Like when's acceptable? It's
Yeah.
different compared to D. And like forecheckings, I catch myself sometimes like, am I supposed to forecheck here? Am I supposed to kind of hold off as a third man high? Like kind of second guess myself sometimes just because I've never played the position ever in my life. Just having to figure it out at such a high level. So, but I've truly enjoyed playing it. It's a blast.
And are you still playing center? Is that where you are right now?
Still have me there. Yep. So I'm still doing that.
Still overlap from, defense to center as far as the defensive zone, obviously, like playing down low. If you guys are playing where your center's playing low, that'll be similar. So that'll be good. Some of that will translate for you. You'll feel comfortable there. But as far as the offensive side, are you just feeling like you're running around in like a whole new sport, basically, like playing all over in the offensive zone with the puck and whatnot? Because you're not just up at the blue line. And I know in today's game, like things are fluid, guys are moving around the whole time. But has that just been so super weird for you?
Definitely been weird. My coaches did a great job explaining it for me. They were like, yeah, move up and play forward. And I was like, Coach, I've never played forward in my life. Like, what do I do? And he was basically just be a third defenseman in the D zone, stay low, support, and help on the breakout. And then in the offensive zone, you can be that third man high, kind of read the play, scan, see what you got to do. Or if you're forechecking your first man in, like get in there, hit someone, like take that puck and create an opportunity. So they did a great job explaining that to me. So that truly helped.
That's good. I think it's just there's so many little things that are probably different for you too, like looking over at your line mates and having two line mates there and knowing you're in a unit of three instead of just like a pairing. Like little stuff like that, or jersey colors for practice in the locker room's got to be a change for you too, because you're on the lines. Maybe there's just the two colors or whatever, but it's still, I'm sure that's an adjustment too.
Yeah, that's definitely an adjustment. I find drills that I've done for 10 years of my life, and I've only done it as a defenseman. So my coach says it, and I have to go to the back of the line because I don't know how the drill's done as a forward. I think something even as a 7-pass drill, I was like, what does a forward do on this? Like, I don't know. So it's definitely a change, but it's a lot of fun.
I'm glad that you're having fun with it and you have kind of the open mindset for it, because a change like that can really just, it can really bother certain people and certain players, and it can just ruin them. So to take it head on and just kind of focus on the team is, I'm not surprised knowing you, but that's a big thing. And I would imagine you'll probably feel a whole different uh, perspective on the game as a whole as you get a little bit more experience at forward under your belt, because you'll be able to see the game from both sides. Like, I know so many people say, or so many coaches and players have said that they want players to play both positions at certain points so you can see it from that other perspective. And like, as a forward, like, yeah, it's difficult to make a breakout pass in this scenario. So if you've played defense, you know that, and you know kind of where to be as a forward. So little stuff like that, I think, will probably help you a lot.
Absolutely. I definitely use that to my favor. I think as a defenseman, I know what the D like. I definitely try to support and help with the D and that sort. And then if I do end up moving back to D, it'll definitely help me. I'll see the forwards' point of view on a lot of things. I know there's times on like the when we're getting pressured and whatnot, and I'm skating backwards, and my D are like, you can skate forwards. Like, we'll skate backwards, you skate forwards, and surf them to the wall. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can. Like, so it'll definitely help if I do move back, but also being a D helps understand what the D needs to help break the puck out or in the
Sure.
offensive zone.
Have they told you like a plan for upcoming, or is it kind of just up in the air because of injuries and whatnot?
It's kind of just play it by ear. They kind of said if we like you up there, you might stay, and you may move back. So play it by ear.
Nice, good stuff. Well, that's exciting. I'll be interested to see how things kind of progress for you throughout the year. What was it? What's it been like? I mean, other than just the positional change, you've obviously jumped up from the NCDC to college hockey so far this year. What's that adjustment been like in this first month of games, and I guess the first couple months of practices and the whole routine? What's that been like?
The college games are extremely fun. Playing in front of your school, I think at our first game we had like 700 fans,
Wow.
so we had a lot of people, a lot of students there. It was a lot of fun. Um, it's definitely fast. You have very little time to make plays and stuff, so it's on and off your stick, or you got to move your feet. So that's a pretty big change. The physicality, everyone's doing the right things. Everyone's finishing their hits. Everyone's making the right play. So it's a lot of fun, but it's also very, very taxing. After the game, you're like, wow, am I sore?
Yeah.
But you got to recover quick, and the season's short. So every game means a lot.
Yeah, the season is short. I think that's a huge difference from where you've played, because you played AAA and midgets, and then where you're playing 50 to 70 games or whatever, and then you play juniors, and then that's what, 40 to 60 probably,
Yep.
around there, and then you've got college. Which, do you know how many you guys are playing this year? Is like 30 to 40?
I think we're only guaranteed 25.
Yeah.
And then
Okay. Yeah.
if you make playoffs and then finals, it's around 30.
Yeah. No, that's a huge difference. What's it been like as far as the adjusting to that level? Like, are you at a point where, because you've went through this at every different level, I'm sure, where your first few games you get there and you're like, wow, these guys are so much better. It's so much faster. They're so much stronger. I have no time and space. And then it takes a little bit, and then you're like, no, I can actually still play my game. Do you feel like you're quite there yet, or is it just everything's just processing and it's new to you still?
Yeah, I think the first game it was a little bit kind of nerves, kind of got to figure this out, not necessarily knowing what to expect. But you were also I was super excited for that first game, so I had a ton of energy and I just wanted to go out there and do the best I could. So yeah,
I think that's also like, you have a one of the differences with college is the timeline. Like you guys start, not only is the season shorter, you start later. Like in a normal season, like if you rewind a year ago, by Halloween you would have had 2 months worth of games pretty much. Where this year it's like sitting there. Like I remember I checked your schedule when I first texted you back in like August, and I'm like, well, we gotta wait a whole long time to get this first game going, and that's normal. That's just normal for college, So it's how it goes. So on the college level, as far as like your weekly routine, you already said earlier with you skate twice a day, and some days you do video classes, all that. What's your normal like Monday through Sunday setup? You guys have class every day, practice every day, battle days. Like how does that all go?
Yeah, so it depends on like the student's hockey schedule or school schedule, but we have practice every day from 8 to 10 a.m. So we're there at the rink 6:45. We have a warm up at 7, do some video, and then we're on the ice for an hour. We get a exam, and then we're on for another hour. Do
That
that.
exam is important. That exam is important. I gotta say, like that's a game changer. Not everyone does that. That's good.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm exhausted after that first hour, and that 10-minute break really helps.
Yeah, and
But
the ice is tore up, so that's good.
after that, we kind of go. Everyone kind of goes their separate ways to their classes. Some guys have it early classes at like 11, so we're now we're after practice. My earliest one's at 12:30, so I get a little time. I get to go home and eat before, but then I kind of have classes most days from 12:30 to 6:45. My Wednesdays I have classes from 12:30 to 8 p.m. So I'm there all the time, and that's one thing. The time management, you got to figure that out. You have to figure out when you can go work out, kind of work around the school schedule with all your homework and stuff. But then Fridays we play. I don't have class Fridays, so I'm lucky with that. Fridays we have games, and then Saturdays we have games. So depending on if it's home or away, some guys have to talk to their teachers, miss some classes and whatnot to get on the bus, go to the away games, or after Friday morning practice, some guys go to class and end up going to class and then the game after. So it's different for everyone.
How has the school side been for you? Because not only has it been a transition for the hockey side, you haven't went to school in a little bit. How's that going?
It's going good. It's going good. It's a lot of work. I'm a biology major, so it's a lot of work between biology and chemistry. But I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, kind of being back into it. Just a lot of work.
I saw on the roster earlier that you were marked as biology. What are you wanting to do with that?
Uh, Probably gonna follow my dad in dentistry.
Nice.
That's just kind of seems interesting to me, and yeah, so that's kind of what I'm leaning towards.
That's what I wonder, but I didn't want to totally assume. So that's exciting. You've got a ton of stuff before that, hockey, all that. But I was curious because I saw it said major biology. So I was like, I wonder if it'll be another Dr. Carver. So well, that'll be a
That
conversation for a later day. But maybe I'll transition from Cam Carver to Dr. Carver
that's the plan, but a lot of schoolwork between that.
for sure. And then as far as like your guys' game days, what does that look like? Do you have like pregame skates? Do you guys have video before the game? What is that routine like?
Yeah, so most games, I think Fridays, if we're home, we have pregame skates, or if the guys are not playing, they go out and skate for a full hour. If you're playing, you only go out skate 30 minutes, kind of just a quick skate, get the legs moving,
Mm-hmm.
get hand-eye everything dialed. Um, then you kind of go home for a few hours, do what you want, eat, take a nap, and then we have to be at the rink 2 hours before. Personally, I like 3 hours before. I don't like being rushed. I like getting there, being able to get undressed, getting my warm up stuff, and warming up. I like playing soccer and stuff like that. We'll usually do a power play, PK, special teams video before, and hop on the ice for warm ups and go.
Do you have any specific like superstitions? Like you just said, you're gonna be there 3 hours instead of two. Do you have any specific like superstitions or routines for yourself?
Yeah, kind of before I leave the house, I like to eat eggs. I get there pretty early, so I do 6 eggs usually before. Kind of I found it's something good that doesn't make me feel not great, but also holds me
Sure.
full. So that's one big thing.
Scrambled?
Yep, scrambled, but just six. If we lose, I switch it up to five and then just rotate between the others. That's
So if you lose at 5, do you just go back to 6?
yeah, just go back to six.
And if you win at 6, you just stay at 6 until you
Stay
lose?
at six. Yeah, keep it the same.
When did
That's
that start?
that probably started in juniors. My first year juniors. I don't know. I just figured found something out, and I was like, oh, we won today. I might keep this. Like, do the same thing. But then, kind of when I get to the rink, I like to be there 3 hours before. Like I said, that's almost a non-negotiable for me. I like unless we're on the bus,
Mhm.
but I
Oh,
like
that's
playing
the
stuff.
worst. Because I like being there super early too. And when you got to wait for the team to have all their stuff on the road and you can't just get there and then you do feel rushed, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm like running around and everything. I don't like that. I like being calm. Like
Yep.
I like hanging out, playing soccer, stuff like that, getting my stretches in.
Yeah.
Uh, Nothing really else before that. On the ice for warm-ups, I do a couple little things. I just like to shoot once in the first in the three lines drill, and then I do a couple tight turns with the puck. Then I stop at the hash mark, do some visualization stuff, kind of plays, face off, stuff like that. But
Mhm.
other than that, nothing really.
Are you a music guy or just headphones off and living in the moment?
Living in the moment. I like talking with the team. I like keeping it chill. Just I don't like being too uptight. I
Yeah.
start freaking out and panicking when that happens. So I've kind of found if I just talk, listen to whatever music is on, just focus on the game and be ready. That's what works for me.
So one thing that I've thought about when I think about, a lot of different players over time, and there's like guys that say that are on both sides of this. Are you someone who pays attention to who you're playing beyond just the team? Meaning if you're playing, ABC team this weekend, are you aware of their players, their recent games and recent scores and all these different things? Or do you just like knowing what your coaches want you to know? Like this is their power play, this is their PK, these are their stars.
I don't like to overstudy it. I like to keep it pretty simple. I like learning about goalies, kind of seeing how they've been in the past years, if they played college the last years or juniors, or
Mm.
I like that. Doesn't really mean much, but I like looking at it. Power play PK, I like that. The forecheck, I love knowing the forecheck and
Mm.
what they do in the D zone. I think that's very important. I think having a little bit of structure, kind of knowing what they're going to do, being able to maybe jump their plays a little bit, I think that's very beneficial. But other than that, maybe knowing top guys if people are on like hot streaks of goals or something like that. But other than that, I don't get too in depth with it.
I think some guys, they know because you've played with guys, I'm sure that they sit in the locker room every single day and they know everything about every junior team and every college team and they know every guy and what they do before the game and where they eat their meal. And it's like, it's a lot of stuff that probably doesn't really make a difference in the game, but they just like over study it and over talk about it. What has been the biggest transition from juniors to college so far?
Definitely the time management. Juniors, I kind of you show up to the rink, you do your skate, whether it's one or two, and then you work out and you kind of go home and do whatever you want for the rest of the day.
Mm.
College, you kind of have to figure it all out. You got to do hockey, your workout, and then you got to do school on top of that, your homework. So that's been a big change. Just managing my time, figuring out when I can do what. If sometimes some guys have to miss workouts because they have tests they got to study for or whatnot. You're a student athlete, so you kind of gotta worry about the school a little bit more first and making sure you're getting that done. But I know there's days where I'm going to hockey and then I'm coming home doing homework for an hour and then I'm going to class. So it's figuring out what times you have open and stuff like that. That's probably the biggest change.
Yeah, I think that's a huge one. Do you feel that you're normally good with that? Like good with managing your time, or are you someone who's struggling with it? I would assume you're good at it, but do you ever struggle with that?
Yeah, there's times where I'm definitely like feel panicked almost that I have so much work, hockey. This I don't have time, but I'm usually pretty good. There's those times that I feel like that, but I like to try and do my work ahead, try and get ahead, and
Hmm.
get it done as soon as I can. So I do have that free time if I need it, or I don't have to panic at least.
Yeah, that's something that's not just hockey. That's something that's a life skill. So being able to manage your time, especially when you're super busy. I mean, it's the same as me. Like I had work meetings today. I've got this, and then I'm going to practice tonight, and I'm running the practice. So I had to get all of it order. I did it last night. Get a little bit more this morning, and it's just organize, keep your stuff organized. Um,
Absolutely.
so do you have like you went all over the country throughout your years with Victory Honda, Bell Tire, and even before that in youth hockey as well. And then the last couple years with Mercer in the NCDC. Do you have any favorite arenas or favorite areas that you've been? Because I imagine if you had to look at like the 50 states and make a list, you've played hockey in a lot of them, a ton of them all over. So do you have any random arenas that stick out in your head?
Yeah, so we played at Penn State one time that
Mm,
with Mercer and the NCDC. That was a blast kind of. The ice was awesome, the rink is awesome. A
nice.
little empty with the fans, but
Sure.
it was dressed like a seat night, but that was an awesome rink to play in. And honestly, I really like playing at Danbury. The having the students there, we have a little section up top that's like kind of over top the goalie, and
Mm-hmm.
our students just yell and yell at this poor goalie,
Oh,
and we get like 300, 400 sometimes, and they're just ripping this goalie, and it's a lot of fun. We have an obnoxiously loud goal horn, so that's always awesome to hear, and yeah, it's a blast. There's a lot of hockey history here, so a lot of people in the town understand, and
oh,
it's a
nice.
lot of fun here.
So there's like kind of like the community aspect of it, where some of the locals kind of are familiar with the history and know about all of it and whatnot.
Yeah, so we have the Danbury Hattricks Null team that
Mm-hmm.
plays out of the same rink, and we also have the Fed team that plays out of our rink as well. So I know
Wow.
they get a ton of fans, and they've actually been great. It's like some people with that organization have mentioned us saying go to their games and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
cool.
we've been getting fans from them also. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
Everyone knows hockey here.
Yeah. It's good to have that because sometimes we've all heard of those random junior cities and those random college cities where there's sometimes the random areas are the best because there's nothing else to do. So they're just like, they're just fans only. And then there's other areas where there's a lot of hockey and the fans are awesome because there's a lot of hockey too. So it's good that you're in a nice environment, nice community with all of that. And it's actually a little surprising that you have the three different levels all at one arena. Do you have one sheet of ice or two or what is that?
We have two. We rotate. So I think Monday, Tuesdays we're on the big ice, and the pro team is on the back ice, the practice rink, and then it flops for Wednesday, Thursday, and then the
Nice.
all team skates after us. So
Okay, makes sense. Junior
making it
guys.
work. Yep.
Do you have any games throughout your career that are extra memorable for whatever reason?
Yeah, I have a couple. 18 year state finals. I think we won that game 7-2. That was an awesome experience getting to win the state
Yep.
championship in Michigan.
And this was with Bell Tire, correct?
This was the Bell Tire, yep. So that was my first year Bell Tire. We definitely weren't supposed to win, and we made an unbelievable run and made it to the national tournament, and that was awesome. I know we were supposed to play OJG first game of the state playoffs, and they hadn't lost to a Michigan team all year,
Oh wow.
and we ended up beating them the first game of the playoffs, and we were like, wow, we can do this, and that was really like an eye opener, and
And
went
that was in
on.
round robin?
That was in round robin. Yep.
Wow.
So
So you guys just
first,
got hot from there.
yeah, first game of the tournament, we just got hot and went on. I think we went 3-0 in round robin play, and then won semis and faced Little Caesars in the finals. And I don't know if it's still like that, but back then it was the 3-game series for
Yep.
the finals, and we ended up losing the first game,
Mm.
and we're on our heels. We lost 4-0, and then came back the second day on our heels a little bit, we ended up winning 1-0 and then kind of took it over in the third game, won 7-2. Kind of a memorable thing from that is I scored the first goal in that game, kind of, I think 2-3 minutes into the first period, just
Nice.
kind of walked down the wall, shot it far side high, and that was an awesome memory from that.
And that was the finals first goal you said?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
So
huge. I believe it is still the 3 game series, best 2 out of 3. And if you're losing the first one, I mean it's got you like backs against the wall. You got no other option. You can't lose again, obviously. So
yeah.
that's awesome. And that was you guys won states with that, obviously. What happened with OJG? They must have lost to Little Caesars in the semi, or what was that?
Yeah, they lost. They ended up losing to Little Caesars in the semis. So once they were out, we were kind of like, yeah, we're gonna do this. But we
Yeah.
also would have had the 1 game jump on them because if you beat
Right.
them in round robin, so we were kind of like, whatever happens there happens, and we just got to worry about our own game.
Gotcha. So if you play them in the finals, since you beat them in the round robin, it's 1-0 in the series basically already.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. That actually explains a whole thing for me. I'm glad you randomly just said that because I have looked at the Maha website for so many years, wondering why some of the years it's just 1 game instead of 3. So I that is very good information.
Yeah, because if you beat them in round robin, it counts as one of the finals games if you meet them. So,
Got it. I've
yeah,
always wondered that. What
yeah.
else did you have?
So another one is in the NCDC last season, we beat the PAL Islanders in the division final to move on to the finals for the NCDC. That was just an unbelievable experience. That team was just something else, and I think 2 years of playing against them, our record was 2-14.
Oh wow.
They dominated us in regular play, and we went into the series. We lost to them in the same exact position the year before, and we went down 0-2 of a best of 5 series. And we won one, and same thing, kind of just never stopped from there. We won 3 in a row and won the division. So that was an unbelievable experience, unbelievable comeback, and one of the most fun times of my lives.
So when you think about both of those, you guys are down and you're playing. And you neither of these scenarios, you're the favorite. What was the team's? Why'd you guys win? Like, was it just simply? Do you think it was like the pressure was off, or what was it?
Yeah, I think that was something that was kind of important. We were like, they led the division all season. They were the top dog, and it was kind of like all the pressure was on them. And I think we just got tired of losing to them. We hated losing to them, and it was just time. And we finally won one, got a little confidence, and it never stopped.
What was the? Do you know the score of Game 5? I should ask. Was it close or was it like lopsided?
It was pretty close. It was like 5-3 with an empty netter.
Okay, nice. Because
So
sometimes you come back on a team like that. By the time you get there, they're just like cashed up. They're like, whatever, you guys can take it. You've already came back on us. We thought we had it. We're done. So at
yeah,
least you put up a fight.
we actually did that in 2 rounds last year. So the first round we went in a best of 3 series to the Jersey Hitmen. We went down 0-1. We lost our first game and ended up winning 2 in a row. Then went 0-2 to Pal, and then won 3 in a row. Went on to the finals. So just that team had something about us that we wanted to win, and we figured out a way. So it was
That's
awesome.
awesome. The comebacks are in series are huge. There's nothing better than beating a team in the playoffs that you've previously struggled with, because it's just a reminder that as long as you're in the playoffs, like your regular season games matter to the point that you qualify for the playoffs and whatever level it is. And then when you're in the playoffs, that previous game doesn't matter. It's 0-0. You just got to go out and play. And beating a team like that, especially a team that you've lost to, that's one of the best feelings. That I think that's something that drives competitiveness more than anything else. So I'm sure that was a nice celebration. What happened with you guys after that?
Yeah. So I think there was only 3 divisions last year in the NCDC. So they did a 4-team finals.
Mhm.
So it was Us, Northern Cyclones, South Shore Kings, and the Idaho Falls Spud Kings. First game, we beat the Cyclones. I think it was 3-2 or something. So feeling pretty good on that. And then we went and we had Idaho, and we lost 1-0. So it was a double loss elimination. So then we played South Shore in the last game, lost 4-0 in that game, and then Idaho and South Shore went on to the finals, and Idaho ended up winning.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
So
close.
you guys were in the final round, the final tournament.
Yeah, we were in the final three teams, so we
Nice.
were right there.
What were your favorite parts of juniors? I know guys always talk about, the all the stuff with the boys, cuz junior hockey is different. Like, all you do is play hockey. So, whether it's traveling and bus, locker room, what were your favorite parts of playing junior hockey?
Yeah, the locker room was one of the best parts. The team we had was great. Everyone kind of same as the Blades. Everyone just wanted to have fun, and it was a lot of fun because we were probably one of the more unserious teams ever, and everyone knew once we stepped on the ice it was time to go. So that was a blast. But it was also fun. Like, you could just hang out at the rink all day,
Hmm.
and some guys did that. Like, some of us would be there till 5 p.m. when we had practice at 9 a.m.
Right.
And it was just us sitting there talking, hanging out, and doing whatever. That was a lot of fun. The buses, the experiences on there are just so much fun. It's
Yeah.
different for everyone, but like taking a bus, going to an away game, like having that you do rookie idol stuff like that. That's a
Exactly.
blast. The team meals, the overnights in hotels, like it's all some of the most fun you can have.
I think when everyone's done playing hockey, the thing they miss more than anything else is all those little things with the team. It's not necessarily that you want to go get on a bus and drive somewhere for hours, because it can be boring, of course. But like the feeling of being with the team and just being in it together. Like, even if you're getting bagged at practice, you're just in it together. And that feeling is something it's difficult to find throughout the rest of your life. It's that, and then it's also the competitiveness. Like, you're playing for something every day, you're working towards something. That's why whenever everyone's done, like, they got to find something else, because you got to, most hockey players and most athletes in general, you can't just turn it all off forever. So it's great that you can reflect and have good memories on all of that. And you still get to, now you get to do the same stuff, just in a new, with a new team and a new program and new area of the country and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to make it fun too. So obviously the bus trips are boring. You got to figure out stuff to do, like Rookie Idol. That's always a blast, where everyone gets up, sings for everyone. It's a huge concert on the bus. It's a lot of fun. I'm also a huge fan of bus tag at rest stops. Uh, that's always a good time for me. So I enjoy that. But yeah, you got to make it fun.
So when you did Rookie Idol for yourself, do you know what song you sang?
Yeah, I sung "One Too Many" by Luke Combs. That was I went that path. Some of the vets they like country songs a lot, so I was like, I think this is great. Like, if I'm singing country, they're gonna like it. They know this song, so that was my choice.
Did they chime in right away, or they let you slug it out by yourself for a while?
Kind of let me slug it out by myself. Yeah, I was singing for a while.
I think that's something that I think most teams do in some way. We never had to do it. When I played on Metro, we didn't do it, but we had a form of it on the bus. But I think they just randomly selected guys throughout the year. It wasn't every rookie that did it. We didn't have like a formal event thing for it. So I never had to do it. But, there's certain guys, they get up there right away and they say 5 seconds and everyone chimes in. And there's other guys, they let them go for a minute or two alone, and then all the pressure's on them. So,
Yeah, and that was the other fun thing. It was all about fun,
yep,
and we there was days where, like, even like when we did Rookie Idol, some vets were like, "I want to go," and they started. We even got our coach to
exactly.
get up there and sing, like,
Oh,
and
okay.
and then some days all of a sudden it would just be like, "We're doing Vet Idol today," and then like all the vets would just get up and sing, and like it was just all for fun. Just like I said, just you got to figure out ways to have fun, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
You've wore a letter. You've been a captain. I think at pretty much every level. What is that like to you? What do you think makes you a leader? Do you think it's just how you are naturally? Is it your work ethic, the way you talk to your teammates? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I think it comes a little naturally to me. But I try to be someone that every teammate can look to. Just if they need something, they can come to me and ask something like that, or I'm gonna support them. Kind of on the ice, like I want people to know, like I'm gonna be the hardest worker out here, and I think that's one thing that it pushes the pace of practice, games, makes everyone better. So I think that's something big that really pushes the team and kind of shows leadership.
I agree. You've got you had a whole summer, and I know, fitness and working out and all that's always been a priority for you and stuff. You've always been That's been a part of your regular life, but I know this summer you obviously were training for college, and I saw many videos of you in the weight room and doing all these different things. How important do you think the off ice stuff is for your career and to getting you to where you are right now?
I think it's super, super important. And my trainer, Brandon Webb over at Webb Human Performances, did awesome. He kind of laid it out for me. We talked at the beginning of the summer, kind of what do you want to work on? What do you want to get better at? And I was kind of like speed, quickness, that stuff, and obviously an overall stronger. And we used a lot of reps of like speed. It wasn't going there and hammer as much weight as you could. It was go in there and do reps with a purpose. See how fast you can push up from your squats and stuff like that. Gain that power. We did some sand running, stuff like
Mm,
that. Work on different strength and conditioning, stuff like that. Did a lot of ladder and jumps and stuff like that. So I think it's very, very beneficial, but you have to look in the right direction and use it correctly. I don't think just going in there and lifting heavy is the best. You got to have a plan and figure out what you want to work on and what workouts are going to be the best for you.
I would echo the exact same thing because it's not just, you got to go in and train with purpose and intention to make sure it's what you're trying to get to the point where you want to get. If you're just going and working out as a bodybuilder, bodybuilder has a different objective and a different goal than a hockey player. Yes, there's certain things that will carry over and certain exercises and mentalities, but I'm sure there's a ton of stuff you did this summer, like you even said, just sand running and in the ladder. Bodybuilders and other athletes don't need to do all that, and some of them need to do it more than what you did. So I think that's a huge thing. I would echo the exact same way. All right, so last couple here. You've got your two younger brothers and your younger sister. Evan is currently playing, as far as I know, like in Alberta, correct? Playing juniors in Alberta.
Correct.
Is he still there? And then Griffin's obviously playing with still at home and for Little Caesars. You grew up with the two of them. You're the oldest. What's it like having two brothers that are a little younger than you that are playing hockey? You guys have all played your whole career. You've trained together, you've practiced together, and obviously you've lived together. What's that whole experience been like having the three of you guys playing?
That's some of the most fun to me. They went to the workouts with me a lot. I even playing in the SDI Summer Elite League. We were all on the same team. That's some of the most fun I've had playing hockey. Just getting to play with them, and it's great to come home in like Christmas time, stuff like that, and we all share like tips and tricks. Like Griffin, he's 6 years younger than me, but he's teaching me tricks that I would have never thought of, and it's like, how did you know that? And yeah, we butt heads sometimes, and everyone wants to be better than the other one, but it's a ton of fun. The compete is just unbelievable, and it's so much fun.
So when you guys were growing up, and you were playing like say street hockey or mini sticks or even something that's not hockey, or they're playing outside, playing football or anything, what were the normal teams? Was it normal like you and your sister and then Evan and Griff were a team because it's oldest and youngest? Was it you and Griff? Like how did you guys figure out teams if it was the three of you or the four of you playing?
We kind of rotated a bunch. It what from what I can remember, it was sometimes those two versus me, sometimes me and Griffin versus Evan. I think we kind of, for some reason, looked at age and we're like, oh, your two ages combined is closer to mine, so that's how we
Exactly.
do it. But Yeah, it was always rotating. It was, or we did 1v1v1. It was just super competitive. There's definitely some fights in there somewhere. Like I said, everyone wanted to win. Tempers got high, and we definitely battled.
I think that's helped all of you, though. It's probably helped all of you guys with all of it and in all your different careers. You all play, but you play a little different, each of you. And there's a lot of ways that I see Griffin playing like you or looks like you on the ice. Like the way his gear looks on him, it's almost identical to the way when I look at you, the way it did, especially at that age. And then Evan, I think as time has passed, he looks more like you. But I've always thought that he looks totally different. Like even the way he skates and he shoots is not the same as you. Not that one is good and bad. It's just you guys just look different from each other. So that's one of the things that's interesting about siblings.
Yeah, and Evan kind of grew up a forward. Me and Griffin both played D growing up.
Exactly.
Another thing I also everyone always told me you better be careful. They're gonna grow up and be bigger than you one day, and I didn't believe it, but now they're both bigger than me and still younger. So yeah, they're both bigger than me. So
That's
that's a new
okay.
challenge. That's a new challenge figuring that out. And but
A little bit of ego, a little bit of ego from the little brothers, I'm sure.
yeah, 100%.
Do
But
you guys? So you guys have always it's like your whole family goes to every event, and I don't understand how because you guys play all over the country. I guess with Evan in Canada, you play all over North America, but like forever, it'd be the whole family of Carvers up at one game, sit in the bleachers, and then the whole family of Carvers over at some other rink a few hours later. So, did you guys like when you guys were kids? Were they just like your parents, like, okay, all six of us are going to this game, and then we're going here? And you guys were just like, all right, I guess I have to go to Evan's game too or Griffin's game too? Or did you guys want to go? Like, how did you guys figure out that whole arrangement other than just your mom being organized and being on top of it? Did you guys have a choice?
sometimes before we could drive, it was definitely like you're coming with, like this is the plan. So it was kind of like that. Kind of whatever helped my parents. They did a ton of driving for us, and they were always running back and forth, and it was awesome, super unbelievable. But
Yeah.
so we listened, kind of just if we were told we're going, we're going. As we're getting older, it's kind of we want to go support, watch. I really enjoy watching my brothers play, and um, like I miss getting to see them play live. Like I'm always watching
Yeah.
on the internet stuff like that, but that was always awesome. And my sister, she's awesome. She's always rink to rink. She comes out here, sees me. She goes to Canada, sees my brother. She's at all my brother's games. Like she's been at the rink so much, and my parents, like I said, traveling, driving, hotels, flights, stuff like that. They're taking us everywhere. It's awesome.
I mean, I think obviously your parents deserve the most credit. They were the ones that, as parents do. They are selfless and they promote their kids and they do anything they can for their kids and everything. Your sister has been everywhere and she's not even playing. Like at least if you're going to a tournament, you're like, okay, I'm playing and then I'm also gonna go watch one of my brothers play today. But at least I played. She's just like, I'm just hanging out. I'm just watching it all
Yeah,
of them. So does she play anything or do anything? Like what keeps her time?
yeah. She does basketball. She really likes basketball. She's been pretty good at it. I get videos every once in a while. They don't stream those games, but I get videos of her baskets and stuff. She's doing really good. So
No, they don't have live burn for the
no live
basketball.
barn in the middle school basketball gym, but
Nice. Well, awesome. You went through a whole bunch of stuff here. Last couple, but if you had to like talk to a younger player, whether it's yourself or just another young player, let's say they're 14, 15 years old. They're almost to high school. So they've had some success and they're trying to kind of figure out like what's next for them. Like they love it. They know they want to keep playing as long as they can, but what advice would you give to someone in that scenario?
kind of my biggest thing is you got to be the hardest worker. You don't know who else is out there, and there's kids working hard every day, and you got to find that 1% that you can be better than every day. And it's just working hard every day, wanting to be better than everyone else. So that's one big thing. I think watching film is super important, and not just highlight reels of NHLers, but real film of your game, positive and negative clips. You got to see what you
Mm.
do bad and can work on, but also kind of see good, keep the mojo going, to kind of stay proud of yourself. That I think both are very important. And then working on consistency. So maybe having a plan of every practice or a certain warm up or game. So consistency is a huge part when moving up levels. I think one of the biggest things as you move up levels is it's those guys that can be consistent and play every night a certain way, and even figuring out roles. Like maybe one night if you're a goal scorer and you're not scoring, you got to figure out something you can do to help the team. And if that's blocking shots or hits or turnovers, you got to figure out something you can do every night to help the team. And I think those are the biggest things for me.
So consistency, being the hardest worker, consistency, and doing whatever you can to find your role that night to help the team.
Exactly. Yep.
100%. I love them all. And they're all things that anyone can do. It's not like you just said you got to score 50 goals this season to advance. Like 50 goals is a ton of goals. You didn't score 50 goals last year. Yeah, like it's not, you don't have to do that, but you got to do those little things. Everything you just listed there is just mental stuff. It's just stuff that anyone can do. And I also like how you said you got to be proud of yourself and that type of thing too, because whenever you do accomplish those things, you got to give yourself some credit and also celebrate those moments, because otherwise it's all done someday and you're like, wow, I wish I would have enjoyed this one more. So it's good that you have that all mixed in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For sure. All right, we've talked a lot about your family and your brothers. And you want to back on them or anyone else, as far as people that have made an impact on your career?
Yeah. Obviously, my parents, unbelievable what they've done for me and my brothers, driving us everywhere, taking us on hockey trips, taking me to main camp, stuff like that, coming out
Mm-hmm.
supporting us. That they do that for all of us, and it's just unbelievably and so appreciative for it. I'm sure my brothers are too. Uh, my brothers, my sisters are supporting. My brothers are always teaching me new tricks, stuff like that. My girlfriend's a huge support to me. She really pushes me every day. Um, all my coaches, trainers, stuff like that, giving me help whenever they can. My coaches now doing video with me, my weight trainer at home over the summer. So that it's all beneficial. It all helps me move every day and want to keep playing the game I love.
Awesome. What a list. I mean, it's the whole community behind all of it. So you make all those people, you make me proud every day. So it's awesome to see. I got one last question. It's probably the most important question of the whole day. Anyone that's watching this on video sees the flow that you have there. You got it pushed back. It stays back on the sides. You got some curls in the back. You look at a picture with your helmet on. It's all done up. What do you do for this? How do you maintain this flow?
Yeah, so I'll show it first. I got a like mullet going.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell you had the cut there too. I was
Yeah,
wondering if that was just shadow or if you actually had a bit of it cut.
no, I got it trimmed. Probably a haircut every month or so, but other than that, just shower, shampoo, conditioner, little hair paste, keep it back. But other than that, it's in a beanie a lot. I like my hats, so it's in a hat or beanie a lot. But some days, special occasions, I'll put it back.
It's trained. I
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
when I was playing pretty much every fall. It's like, traditionally, like, people maybe cut their hair a little bit more in the spring and the summer and they grow it out for the whole season. And some guys just keep it year round. I normally would keep it a little shorter in the off season, but then fall comes and everyone's got their beanies and their backwards hats and they push it back when it's wet and it stays back and you're like, I'm training it. I'm training it to stay back. So that was
Yeah,
always that's a deep memory I haven't thought about. I haven't described my hair as needing to be trained in a while, but that was a big thing back when I was playing. So it's
yeah, no,
nice. This has been great. It's really good to talk to you on all these different things. So thank you for your time, Cam.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's been a blast. I know when you invited me, I couldn't wait. I was like, yeah, I have to do this. Like, so.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been great. Oh, we got to get the other brothers on at some point too. I had to start with the oldest, and we'll go from there at some point this year.
Oh man, their story. I don't even know if you want to hear their stories.
All right. Well, thank you, Cam.